What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be working on my 2020 Harley Davidson Sportster 48 and we're going to be doing a clutch adjustment at the cable and as well as an internal clutch adjustment. So to do such you're just going to need a 9/16 1/2-inch wrench for the clutch cable itself, a Torx T25 to take the derby cover off, and just a flat tip screwdriver. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and let's get right to it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to have to loosen up our clutch cable and give it some slack. So I already went ahead and pulled the clamp off and pulled the rubber boot down. So now we can take our 9/16 and 1/2-inch wrench and put some slack into the cable. Okay, so I went ahead and loosened that up all the way. As you can see, we have slack in our clutch. So from there, we can go down to the derby cover. So we already removed the derby cover. Now the next thing we're going to do is remove this spring. And like I said, using a flat tip screwdriver, we are going to start and go clockwise to loosen up the basket. Just a couple of turns. And at this point, we can feel our clutch is completely loose. So now what we're going to want to do is start to turn it back counterclockwise until we feel some resistance, and then once we feel the first bit of resistance, turn it back clockwise So start to turn it back counterclockwise. You can see the lever moving on its own. And like I said, once you feel the first bit of resistance, it's going to be right about there, and turn it back a quarter turn. And now the clutch basket is set. So at this point, we can go ahead and reinstall our derby cover and tighten our clutch cable back up. So in most cases, you can just reuse the same O-ring, but you always want to inspect and make sure the O-ring is still in good condition before reinstalling it. Kind of take some oil and put it on the O-ring here. We can reinstall this. And once the spring is installed, now we can go ahead and reinstall the derby cover. And essentially what this does is it just kind of holds the adjustment there. As you can see, I like to just start at the top to help hold the cover in place. And then we are going to be working in a crisscross pattern. As you can see, I'm just trying to get them all started by finger to make sure they are all started before I go around and just snug them up. Now that they are all started, there is a torque spec for this. I'm just going to go around and just snug them up. Alright, and that's how you reinstall the derby cover. Alright, now that we have made our internal clutch adjustment, we can go ahead now and start backing this down until we take the rest of the slack out of the clutch lever. This is another good practice every time you guys do this, to make sure you go ahead and lube up your clutch cable. You just want just a little bit of play on your clutch lever. You can only get this, to get it to where you really want it, you're just going to have to kind of get it off the lift or off whatever you're working on it with and just put it in gear and test the clutch at your own risk. Make sure everything internally and clutch cable wise is adjusted to your liking, because you can adjust the clutch release point. But for now, I'm going to call that good, kind of in the ballpark where I think I want it. And then we're just going to bring this jam nut back down. And at this point, we can just go ahead and snug them up. Alright, like I said, I personally would leave the boot down until you get the bike where you're able to test the clutch. Make sure the clutch lever is releasing when you want it to release, and until you test ride it and make sure the internal adjustment is par for course. As I said, it's going to be hard to see. You just want a little bit of slack in your clutch lever. But overall, I hope you found today's video insightful and helpful on how to adjust your clutch cable, as well as doing an internal clutch adjustment on your Harley Davidson Sportster. Adjusting the clutch lever is only going to help you as your cable wears when you go to release the clutch, where the clutch grabs. Every service is a good measure to just kind of check everything and just make sure everything is tight, because otherwise you're going to wear clutches out a little bit faster with it slipping. Now the internal clutch adjustment that is something that if you're riding hardcore and you know when you go to shift and your RPMs are fluttering and there's like a slight hesitation, that most times is going to be your internal clutch adjustment. So that's why I showed you both, because to do the internal clutch adjustment, you have to loosen your clutch cable. But I hope today's video was helpful for you guys. If you would, please make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if not already done, and that bell icon, so that way you guys get notified when I post new videos. Make sure to ride safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!